I'm Adrian, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the song Hanging on the Telephone. Now, I'm sure most of you are familiar with the great Blondie recording of this song, but what you may not know is that that was actually a cover version of a song by the LA band The Nerves. And they were a fairly short-lived outfit from the mid-70s, usually described as power pop, and I guess they were also kind of an early punk band. And this great song is a much covered song, as well as the Blondie version. We've got recordings by Cat Power, by Def Leppard. In this video, of course, I'm going to be focusing primarily on the Def Leppard version of this song. No, I'm not. I'm going to be talking about the Nerves version of this song. Not that I've got anything at all against Def Leppard, actually quite a big Def Leppard fan, so maybe I'll do a Def Leppard based video at some time in the future. Not today though. I'm going to be talking mainly about the Nerves. Might also touch on the Blondie recording as well. Actually, both the Nerves and the Blondie recordings are pretty similar, but I thought it might be interesting just to point out a few pertinent differences between the two. So let's get on with it. Let me take you through this piece by piece, riff by riff, kicking off with this main verse riff. It's a great riff, quite easy to play, and just before we get into the specifics of that, I just want to talk about the chords and the general harmony of the song at this point. And if you listen to the Nerves recording, it's a very stripped back, punky sounding record. You've actually just got bass, guitar and drums all the way through the track, and what the bass is doing at this point is playing an E flat going up to a G, and the chords that are implied by that, I think, are just an E flat major going up to a G minor. And if you compare this with the Blondie recording, which I think is a much more polished and produced recording, it sounds a bit more like a hit record. You've actually got rhythm guitar and keyboards playing those chords on the Blondie record. But on the Nerves record, you've just got this lead guitar part, and this main riff is really taken from the G minor pentatonic scale. All of the notes belong to that scale, so you might find it helpful to think about that scale while you're learning this riff. And in fact, the other riffs in the song are all based in and around this scale, so perhaps you might like to visualize the G minor pentatonic scale played a bit like this. That's really just a pattern 1 G minor pentatonic scale. I've just got a little extension down at the first fret here on the lower strings, and then you can go up into that little box shape in and around the 6th position. So the riff itself, we're starting off with this double stop. This is the 6th fret on the top 2 strings, playing that 4 times. Then we've got 5-3 on the G, and then 8-6-8 on the B, and then just the 6th fret on the top string, and that's played quite staccato. You're just going to cut that note off short. And the count on that, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2. So quite straightforward to play, I think. The only thing you might watch out for is just the position shift there. You've got to leap quite quickly from the 3rd fret up to the 6th fret, so you need to make sure that is nice and quick and efficient if you want to get the riff smooth. So that's the riff. We then repeat it, and we repeat it a 3rd time, but with a variation. We continue going on down the scale. So it starts off in exactly the same way. Then we're on to the D string. We've got a 3-5 hammer, and then playing the 3rd fret again, and then we've got 3-1 on the A string, 3 on the low E string, and then an open D string. And what you might also do is just have a quick backward slide into that 3rd fret note on the A string. So that's the verse riff. I might just play all of that slowly in time for you. We've got 2, 3, 4. And whilst I'm here, I may as well just talk about the Blondie recording as well, and just to see how that riff differs. It's actually very similar. There are just a few variations and a few more embellishments, I think, on the Blondie recording. So the Blondie riff starts like this. So very similar. We've just got a little slide here from 6 to 5 on the G string. And then instead of going up high, we're staying down in the third position, and we've just got, that's 5 on the D, 3 on the B, 3 on the G. So just outlining that G minor sound. That's the first time. The second time it does go up high. And a bit of vibrato as well. On the Nerves recording, you can't really detect any real embellishments or vibrato, but there's much more of that on the Blondie record. And then the third time, that's much the same as the Nerves recording. So the Nerves chorus goes like this. Once again, the harmony to this is all implied by the bass, and it's outlining these chords. We've just got an E flat to an F, and then 2 bars of G minor, which is then repeated. But on this record, the guitar is just playing a single note riff, which is kind of outlining and implying those chords along with the bass. So we're starting off first fret on the D string. This is an E flat note. And we've got an open D string going down to the first fret on the A string, and then we've got first fret to third fret, and then third fret on the low E string. Then we've got first fret on the A, and then an open D string. So we're playing a G minor arpeggio here. We've got G, B flat, and D, which is the root, flat third, and fifth of the chord. And then we've got 3, 1, 3 on the low E string, and then we're going up that arpeggio again, and then third fret on the low E and an open D. So all of that. Then it just repeats. Then we're back up to the 6th fret, and this is just leading back into the verse with 6, 8, 8, and then 6 on the top string. That's the chorus part. Let me just put that together for you slowly in time. We've got 2, 3, 4. Moving on to the Blondie recording, once again this is similar, but there are some more variations, and generally it's just a little bit more elaborate. So the interesting thing on the Blondie recording is, instead of playing all single notes there, those opening notes are played with octaves. So we have So it's exactly the same notes. It's E flat, D, B flat, but we're playing all of those notes on the A string and then doubling those notes an octave higher on the G string. So we've got 6 on the A, and then 8 on the G, and just moving that down. So E flat, D, then down to the first fret, B flat. Then we've got the single note riff. Once again, it's all based off of that G minor triad, but we're just leading into that with a bit of an F note here, so, and then a hammer on. And the rhythm is a little bit trickier as well. There's a little bit of syncopation there. We've got 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. Links back to the verse in the same way. The bridge then, and that's the bit that goes, oh, why can't we talk again? And on the Nerves record it goes a bit like this. And the chords we're dealing with at this point in the song are C minor to G minor. We do that again, and then back to C minor, and we just hold on that for 2 bars. But once again, all of that is really implied by the bass and the single note guitar riff on the Nerves recording. And once again, we're really just using arpeggios and chord tones to outline these chord changes. So we're starting with this, and that's just going straight up a C minor arpeggio. We've got 3rd fret on the A, 1st fret on the D, open G, and then back to the D string. So that's just C, E flat, G, E flat, root, flat 3rd, 5th of the chord. And then we're coming up to the 3rd fret and doing this. So we've just got a little hammer on here from 3 to 5 on the D string, and then 3 on the G again, and then that hammer on again, 3rd fret on the D, then we're coming down 3 on the low E, 1 on the A string. And then it repeats. We've got the C minor arpeggio again, and then our little hammer-on riff. And the 3rd time we play this, we play that C minor arpeggio, but then we're coming down 3 on the low E and 1 on the A. Arpeggio again, and then 3 on the low E and just an open D string to lead back into the chorus. Let me put all of that together for you in time, nice and slowly. We've got 2, 3, 4. So let's compare and contrast that with the Blondie recording, and the bridge on that recording is a little bit hard to decipher. The guitar isn't mixed particularly high at that point, and there's quite a lot of other stuff going on in the mix, but it goes something along these lines. You've got 2, 3, 4. You can hear you've got some similar ideas going on there, but it's a little bit more rhythmically complex, and we've got a few more embellishments in there. So it starts off with this C minor arpeggio once again. We're just leading into that with a hammer on from the 1st fret on the A string. We've got 3 to 1 on the D string. Then we're sliding up into this little G minor triad shape. So it's 5th fret on the D, and then 3 on the B and the G. and then we're coming down. That's 5, 3 on the D, and then sliding down from 5 to 3 on the A, and then the first fret on the A string. Then we repeat. And then we stay on C minor, and we've just got the arpeggio, and then 3, 1, hammer on, and up the arpeggio. The guitar solo, there is no guitar solo on the Nerves record, but there's a very nice little guitar solo on the Blondie record, and that goes like this. And we're starting off at the 8th fret on the B string, playing that 3 times, then it's the 10th fret, and then we're bending at the 10th fret, and it's just a 1 fret bend, a bend and release, and then coming back to the 8th fret, and then we're coming down the B string to the 6th fret, playing that 4 times, and then we've got a slide from 7 to 5 on the G string, and then we're pulling off to the 3rd fret. So it's pick, slide, pull, and then it's 5 to 3 on the D string. Then we repeat. We repeat again. And then we repeat just the second half of that phrase, so from the 6th fret. And the solo finishes with a series of octaves, a bit like we saw in the chorus. So it's just E flat, D, B flat, and then over onto the low E and D strings for an F, and then a G. So I'll play the whole solo for you slowly in time. We've got 2, 3, 4. There's just a little ending part that might be worth talking about, and this is pretty much identical on both the Nerves and Blondie recordings, and it goes like this: 2, 3, 4. And it kicks off just like the chorus part did, so and then we're into this idea. So we're starting at the 3rd fret on the D string, playing that 4 times, and then we've got 3, 1 on the A and 3, 1 on the low E. And it's nice if you can just do that quick backward slide into that. So it makes sense if you start on your 1st finger at the 3rd fret on the D string, and then slide with your 3rd finger quickly down to the 3rd fret on the A. And then we've just got our G minor arpeggio. We repeat. Repeat again. And it just ends with an open D string there, and then we've got the final few notes. It's just first fret on the D, open D, 1 to 3 on the A, and we're ending with this G power chord. So it's third fret on the low E, muting the A string, open D and G, and then third fret on the top 2 strings. Gear for this video then, if you're interested, I'm playing my Fender Jazzmaster, and from that I'm going into my mini pedal board, actually just using one pedal today, and that is the Wampler Tumnus pedal, just using that to get a bit of natural sounding overdrive. And from that I'm going into my Fender Super Champ. I've got that set up like so. I've actually just pulled out the treble control today just for a little bit of extra mid-range. And if you're interested in knowing a bit more about any of these bits of gear, you can find full videos on the guitar, the pedal board and the amp on the gear section on my website. So that's Hanging on the Telephone. I hope you enjoy learning to play the song. You can do it the Nerves way, you can do it the Blondie way, or you could mash it all together and do it your own way. Music, tablature and a backing track will be up on my Patreon page if you'd like to check that out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.